Hello friends. Now the objective of what we are going to do today is we are going to build an application using Laravel, and I'm going to make it as simple as possible for you to understand. Initially we had talked about different tools, basic equipments that you should learn on your own to understand the fundamentals of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and right now we are going to dive into creating an applications. We had already installed server. We also have our database running as a service, and also Apache running as a service. So we are just going to create an application right away. We are just after we have installed Laravel using command line, we are now going to create now that Laravel application. So remember, we were working on the hot docs whereby this is where your files will be saved. So what you're going to write on your command line is Laravel new modern app. Okay, so you can write whatever name you're going to write, and then what we're going to do, we are going to select Breeze for our WordPress. That is for not for WordPress, sorry, for Laravel. And then we're just going to select Blade with Alpine. And then we are, if you want to use dark mode, you can select whatever you want to choose, but we are just going to select no for that for right now. And then PHP unit test. Okay, so that is. And do you want to initialize for Git? If you also have a GitHub repository, you can ignite it. So I'm just going to say no for the time being, and then we are going to start now installing our Laravel application. It's going to create an application called a modern app in your hot docs. So I told you also have to understand the concept of your filing structure. Okay, so my filing structure is on D, that is D, and then inside D we have a folder called hot docs, and then hot docs I just need to arrange with the time, and then I get modern app. That is the Laravel application being installed. Okay, so with that as it install, we are just going to write a new window, and the new window I'm just going to select the Laravel application that is being installed. Okay, so file, that is how also to navigate on applications from your folder structure. So just select open a folder, and then you're going to take it to that location. Okay, it's on D, and then hot docs, and then we are going to select modern application. So we are going to learn something about Laravel filing structure. Okay, so Laravel uses something we called MVC, model views controllers. Okay, model views controllers. So that is the structure of creating an application. That is the modern way of creating applications. So we have so the app has models, and then it also has the controllers. The controllers are in HTTP, and then controllers, and then models, and then we also have views. Views now are in resources. Okay, inside resources you can now work with JavaScript, CSS, and your basically now your HTML views. Okay, so we have a welcome view here. So if you understand the concepts of HTML, you can see that we have the head, we have the body, and then we have the tail. Okay, so we are going to get started. We are going to look at controllers. Controllers are basically the commands that basically tell your application what to do. Let's say you want to create controllers for, basically you want to create different controllers. So you want to create a controller that is going to use for users, basically that controller, and that is how you also structure your application. Basically you can create a class or a controller, that class, and then there is one thing that this is a code of programmers, whereby one code always does one thing. Ensure your code does one thing. If it is users, it's going to deal with only users. You can't mix users, and let's say you have a control called users. Okay, you want to have users, you want to have, and then within the controller of users you need to add now the basic functions of create, update, delete within that users. That's how you are going to go about it, and you are going to see how we are going to hold that function, hold that thought. And then we have models. Models are used to interact with the database. So database are information that are stored on the database, and you don't need to interact them directly. Okay, it's like a go between databases. So whatever you want to access inside the database, you are going to pass it through a model, and then that model you are going to send it to a controller, and then that controller is now what is going to display that information through a view. Okay, so controller, we are going to check how we are going to create models. We are now going to check how we are going to create controllers. We are going to check also how we are going to create views, and then how we are going to link from one module to another. Okay, so there, first thing first. Okay, I want to arrange my codes in terms of logic, okay, in a better logic way. Okay, so I'm looking at my structure. I can't draw it, but I can explain it. So I'm going to have my application whereby I want users to log into the system, and each user to go to his respective page. Okay, and then we will have a common page where all the information are being will be visible. Let's say that is a home page, and then the home page will direct you to different pages where if you have a different role or a different permission, you're going to get to that place. So that is the first thing we are going to be talking about, and that is what we're going to be building. So I'm just going to take a look at Laravel, if it has already installed, or basically it has already installed the packages. It is the application, so it is just asking me to configure the database. So first and foremost, I'm going to configure database. I'm going to select my SQL. So after it will ask me to do the first migration. What is migration? Migration, these are now remember I had talked to you about the different types of data types. Okay, data types, these are either dates, or you are adding coins like money, that is if you want to use money, or if you just want to use numbers, you want to use dates, you want to use those are the different data types. I'm going to take you to a folder called migration here, and then I'm just going to show you what it really means. Okay, we're just going to use user migration. Okay, so you see, data types, there are different data types. There are string, there are timestamps, there are timestamps. Okay, there are strings, there are vancars, and all that. So basically there are also decimals that are different data types. Okay, like let's say a table. Tables. Now a data type that I want to use, let's say I want to use decimal, and then decimal also, it also has its own parameter. Like let me say we'll give the name of that table, let's say Kenya shilling, like let's say money or amount, and then you're going to put like it normally has like something like 2, like that. So basically that is like I think that means like 2 decimal places. So those are different types of data types that you can also insert into your application. And then when creating a database, let's say now you want to add other features, and those features will be added, and you want also, so you can be using the features like nullable as you are building your application like on a long-term basis. Okay, so while creating an application, it is so easy for you to build an application and then you start expounding on it for long-term prosperity of your application. So this is how you're going to set up the database. You're going to look at migrations. You're going to look at all those functionalities of a system, and you can add more features, you can delete more features. That is it for now. So we have already added our migrations. I've talked about data types, so let me just run the first migration. Migration will mean that it's going to now create these data types into the database. Okay, this information is going to write it onto the database, and then I'm just going to say yes, and then it's going to create our first migration. So basically it's going to create table users, table cache, table job, and then we are going to look at the database. So basically the database is called modern app. So what you're going to do is you're going to go back to your database, you're going to refresh your database. It has already refreshed, and this is the modern app database that it has created. As you can see, it has created cache, it has created the logs, the job batch, the users. So these are the things that I was talking about. I was talking about creating the data. These are the data types: the name, email, verification. So these are the types. So within this region, this is where information is going to be added into the database. Okay, so after all that, okay, let's go back to this application. It has already, now it is installing Node.js, and up to that point, after it has installed Node.js, we are going just to see a skeleton of Laravel application, and up to that we are going now to start building a new brand application that no one has ever used, or something that can be used for your application. Okay, so the link for your application is localhost 8000. Okay, localhost 8000. Right now you're going to get an error because the server has not yet started. So what you're going to do here, you're going to just write php artisan serve. Okay, so sorry, php artisan serve. Yeah, so say yes, php artisan serve. So when you open that, it is going to open for you a Laravel application, a completely blank Laravel application. So you can start from that point. So basically building an application with only login and registration. So these are what is going to happen. It has been installing yeah, it has installed where is it? Yeah, it is now installing the node. So basically why am I saying it's installing the node? Let's go to, this is where the packet.json the composer is Laravel projects. Okay, composer.json is Laravel PHP stuff. Okay, and then packet.json is React. These are Laravel JavaScript stuff. Okay, so basically you can see it has, this one is another project, but I have added, you can see I have added React on it, I have added React DOM and Sweet Alert. As you can see, those are some of the sweet things you can use Laravel application to help you build an amazing application. Take a look right now. So basically your app is ready. It's telling you your app is ready. You can go to that link and then you can check your application. So let's go back, let's go to our application here, and then you're just going to reload it. Okay, so basically it has reloaded. We are going to create the first user. We're just going to give him name Zach, and then Spazaks at live, and then password. So as you can see, your first Laravel application has been created. Okay, so we are going to see, you see you have been logged into a dashboard of your application, and then now you can now add more logic into this application, whereby you can create we can create a model. You can create a controller called at this point I can just do split screen, and then I can just say PHP artisan make like PHP artisan make controller. So this one is called PHP artisan make model not next of kin with model controller and MCR means model controller and model and controller. Okay, model and controller. So that is how. But if I just want to create a controller, I can just do PHP artisan make controller. So like dashboard controller. With that, I'm going to create a dashboard controller, and with the knowledge that I have right now, you can see that with this controller, I can now open it up, and then I'm going to give it an index function, public function index. Okay, public function index. So basically that is an index function that I want to, when somebody hits slash dashboard, I'm going to return view dashboard. Okay, so basically that's what happens. Now I can just say return dashboard. Okay, so basically it's going to return him to a view called dashboard. So that is basic of how you can create your first. So you can see the views are like container. These are what people are going to see. Controllers, you are going to add your functions here. Let's say I want to connect to a database, and I have user called table user. So I can just create a variable user users equals from database. Now the relationship between database and users, basically the relationship from users and the users from the database, the information that is on the database, I'm going to call the model user all. Okay, so basically that is the relationship, and then I'm going to pass that information to a view. Okay, compact okay, so compact users. Okay, compact users. Okay, so basically that is information. I'm calling information in from the database, but that information has to be stored in a variable users, and then that information now it will be passed to views. And when I'm on views, I can use these views with a for each statement to display all the users on the database from the table users. Okay, so basically that is how we are going to talk about. So let's just digest what we have talked about. We have talked about models, views, controllers, how we can create models, we can create views, we can create controllers, and through that we can start by we have started by creating a simple application that is Laravel. You can see you have your profile and you can log onto it at the same time. You can edit your profile, and then at the same time you can delete your account. At the same time you can log out and go back to your homepage. This is a simple application. So let's subscribe to this channel. Let's broaden our horizon on how we are going to build this amazing application. We are going now to create like a blog application whereby a user is going to log in and is going to read the blog post. We are going to add people, your users can add images into your application, and that is going to be awesome. I've been your host Zach from Zach Anime Studios, creativity one step at a time. Let's meet on the next video, whereby we are going to expand on creating we are going to create now a modern responsive dashboard for your application with those functionalities, and the information from the database can also be displayed like these cubes in front of our website. So guys, subscribe and hit that like button. Don't get confused. We are going to do this the easiest way possible, and there will be no roller coaster. Zach Anime Studios, creativity one step at a time.